God doesn't want us to be afraid. He just doesn't want us to be worried about all these things that are happening in our lives. Second Timothy 1:7 says that God didn't give us the spirit of fear, but a spirit of power, of love, and sound judgment. So I think there's just no valid reason for us to be afraid, really. God is always with us. He's always there for us. He's always been there for us, and He's always loved us. He won't ever forsake us nor leave us. So it's just the most awesome thing a person could hear, really. Just knowing that God is always protecting us. Just knowing that He's always there for us. Yeah, I think that we just don't have a valid reason to be afraid. It's the enemy that plants these lies in our life. It's the enemy that plants these lies in our lives and just makes us think that all these things are just so overwhelming and difficult and just unbeatable. All these problems are so big. The enemy just wants us to think that all these problems are so big and that we can't depend on God to overcome them. But that's just a lie, because if God is for us, then who can be against us? With God all things are possible. We can do all things through Christ who strengthens us. So I think it's just so important to realize that we shouldn't have any valid reason to fear or to let these problems or hardships in our life overwhelm us, because God is always with us and He's there for us, and He just wants to take all our problems. He wants us to trust Him with all our problems. He doesn't want us to rely on our own strength, but on His. Yeah, I think that I personally have struggled a lot with this. I've struggled a lot, yeah. Maybe even to this day a little, with just being so afraid of certain situations and how they might turn out. Yeah, just overthinking everything so frequently and just letting this stress in my life get to me. But the closer I got to Jesus and just gave Him all of my problems and realized that I just can't be afraid. The spirit of fear, as I said, just doesn't come from the Lord, it comes from the enemy. I should be brave for the Lord, because with Him all things are possible and He's always there for us. He just wants us to prosper. So the more I just pray to God to give me this courage, to give me this bravery, the more I became brave, because the Lord just works through me. The Lord just helps me, and He wants to help all of us. Just that we have to ask Him. And yeah, I understand sometimes we just don't know what to ask Him. But He knows, so I think it's just really important to listen to His will in our lives and just to follow His perfect plan for our lives. I think it's just the most important thing we can do, really. When you just give all of your problems to Christ, it just becomes so easy to live. He just helps you in everything you do, and I think it's really important to do that. To just let Christ into everything we do and just give Him all our struggles. Of course, it's not like we should just sit there and do nothing. We should just follow the will that our Father has for us, that Jesus has for us. And that's hard. That's hard to do sometimes. It feels like He's just not there and we just don't understand what to do. But that's how I think we have to sometimes grow our faith, to just step into the unknown. And yeah, I understand that it's sometimes really hard. Yeah. Sometimes we just have to take that leap of faith and to just have faith in the Lord Jesus. And I think when we do that, and the more we do that and just trust Him, the more He can work in our lives and bless us and help us grow closer to Him, which which I think is, of course, just so important. So yeah, I think there's no valid reason for us to fear, of course. Maybe it's inevitable. Maybe there will be some times that we fear, but we just have to remember that God is always with us and He's for us and not against us. And with Him, we can prosper. God bless.